Welcome back to my channel. My name is Belle and this is the Belle Perspective. And today we're reviewing Ready to Love Miami episode 2, Tickle My Pickle. Y'all can tell just by the title that these Miami people, they nasty. Well, one in particular, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, let me do a couple housekeeping items. Number one, want to shout out some of our new subscribers. We always want to shout out new subscribers around here. So I want to shout out King Retro and Shayna McD. So we're shouting out our subscribers. Welcome. If you want to be part of the growing channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get down in the comments and talk to me, okay? Let me know what you think about the episode. Let me know if I got something wrong, or just let me know your perspective, okay? The other two things is, don't forget LITuations, which is my free book club. All the information about the book club is down in the description box. And also make sure that you check out the Soul Entertainment. I recorded a review with the Soul Entertainment firm over for Riches, which is a show on Amazon Prime. Check that out. Subscribe to their. Let's get into the review, shall we? All right, Ready to Love, Tickle My Pickle. You know what? Shout out to Ready to Love, because I really like the fact that I'm seeing Haitian people side. So my mom is American, my dad was Haitian, but it's always really good to see that side and to be able to see it as an adult and be like, wow, I came from some rich culture. So shout out to Ready to Love for acknowledging Haitian culture and acknowledging people that are from Haiti, grew up in Haiti, or may be first, second, third generation Haitians that are living in America. Love to see it. We love, especially because I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. We did not have that type of representation. Most people were black or white, and that's it. Maybe a little Hispanic here and there, but mainly black and white in Jacksonville. I'll just be honest. And if you were from the island, we didn't know that. We couldn't tell. Okay. So anyway, the group gets together for the mixer. So it's like a brunch style. That food looks so good. Maybe I was just hungry while I was watching the episode, but the food looked real good. Let me focus. let me focus on the task at hand, which is reviewing the show. But I was thinking about that food, and it really did look good. Tommy announces that he's going to he's got some curveballs, okay? He got some curveballs that he gonna throw at some of the contestants. And curveballs is that there are going to be 4 new singles. So we get 2 men and 2 women. Now, Mark Anthony, who's Haitian, we get Fabrice, which is a popular Haitian name. I learned that when I was in Florida. So the population of Haitian people in Orlando and Miami is higher than it is in like North Florida and things like that. So Mark Anthony, who's Haitian, we get Fabrice, who's also Haitian. We get Cynthia, baby Cynthia. Cynthia, she will be my good girlfriend if I marry her in person, we will be good girlfriends. Like, I like her personality. Baby came in the room, and you can see all the women's faces they just look real sad. They look real sad because Cynthia came, okay? 37, 2 years. She has 2 children. And then Jonique, I think, which I feel like she's a real Miami girl. Jonique, I think is her name. The men have the power this episode, so they're voting someone off. And the women, they really look sick in the face when they see the 2 new girls, specifically Cynthia. I know Z was looking crazy in the face. I was like, oh, girl. Anyway, speaking of Z, she was going around to all the men throughout the brunch asking them, did you vote me out? 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 I know she gonna go home. In my mind, I'm like, I know she's about to go home. She's setting herself up. So Jeffrey is looking for Andre, and Andre is the one with this thing hanging from his forehead. And today, in this episode, he had the bayang hanging from his forehead, ponytail, and then another bayang in the back. He had the thing in the back. Like how we used to do when we was little girls. Remember, we used to have a thing and then put it up in a ponytail and then do the little bang in the back. That's how he had his hair. It wasn't this long. It just like stopped right here. I I don't understand what these women, what do they see in him? What are y'all seeing that I'm not seeing? He just awkward and just being weird. Anyway, so he went to Jeffrey. Jeffrey was like, "Oh my God, Andre, I was missed you. I wanted to talk to you." And Andre was like, "Yeah, girl. You know when you're around, I don't see nobody else." And then Cynthia walks in with her green dress, which, by the way, Andre was like, his favorite color used to be maroon. Now it's green because of Cynthia's dress. I said, "I know that's right." Cynthia comes and sits down next to Andre, and as soon as he says, "I don't see nobody else but you, Jeffrey," Cynthia comes sit down. "Ooh, what's your name?" Like okay, like Andre. All right, we see him. He's super corny and awkward. Jeffrey decides that she's gonna go. Cynthia's still sitting down talking. He was like, "Yeah, I need more love. Yeah, more love. Yeah, the love, 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 love." What are you talking? What are we doing? Blake and Sue Ann talking, and Blake had his body turned, not facing towards her, and he was just kind of like, "Yep, yep, because she was asking about him, being on the chopping block, and he's being a little bit more open, and how he feels, and all this other stuff, and he's just giving her, like, again, the way it was produced, he's giving her one word answers. His body's not faced towards her. He's like, "I don't know what I'm gonna do with you," just real short. I don't know what's going on with Blake. I just feel like, personally, I feel like he was really salty about the women voting him off, but he's not going to show it. And because the men have the power in this episode, I feel like he decided he was going to be kind of cold and aloof towards the women, more so cold and distant towards the women, because he does have the power and he doesn't really have to have he doesn't have to work a whole lot. Not this week, at least. I don't know what's going on with Blake, but that interaction with him and Sue Ann was super awkward. To talk to Fabrice a little bit. As soon as he walked in and they introduced us to him, I was really sad. I'm like, here we go again, ready to love. All these women are absolutely gorgeous. Like, all of them. All of these women are so beautiful. But this is what y'all find with the men? Fabrice, while I understand that beauty and attractiveness is in the eye of the beholder, he very much gives dirty old uncle to me. And not just from his conversation, because he continuously brought up sex in every minute of every hour. And he said it was a tactic that he uses to figure out what type of person he's dealing with. But also at the same time, there's more to life than sex, and if you don't understand that, then I don't. At your big age, I mean, what are we really doing? These beautiful women and him, this all they get? Like, is this all they get? It just makes me sad. Like, is this all? This is what y'all think about the black women? That this is what y'all think of them? So, first dinner is Cynthia and Janique. This is kind of like a group date, right? A whole bunch of men, two of the women, Cynthia and Janique, get to meet with the men. Cynthia says her deal breakers is cheating, which I respect, okay? I get that. Tony asks her who's her type. Now, I don't too much trust Tony, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that later, and you can check my video from last week. I don't too much trust Tony, and I got my good eye on him. We'll see how things go, and he's really starting to show that I got my good eye on him. So Tony asked Cynthia, "Who's your type?" And I really liked Cynthia's response. Cynthia was like, "Listen, as I've gotten older," she was like, "all y'all are my type," and all the guys were like, all right, what? Okay, girl, what you really saying?" And basically, what she said, which is completely valid, she was like, "As I've gotten older, I've realized that the man that I'm attracted to might not necessarily be the man that's good for me. And so what's best for me is to open up my horizons and make sure that I'm not cutting off someone who actually could be for me, even though he may not be the kind of man that I would have initially been attracted to." And I wholeheartedly agree to that. We not saying date nobody that's ugly to you, because he looks at things differently. So what may be attractive to you may not be attractive to me. So I can't, the perception is totally different. But at the same time, you do need to make sure that person is, you're attracted to them. And I really like Cynthia's answer. Again, she will be my good girlfriend. I really like her a lot. I really like her. I think she's down to earth. She seems really cool. She would be my good girlfriend. We would be cool. So then Janique gets there, and it just starts to get a little cringy. She was like, it looks like the vibe is already, like she's already been able to make, Cynthia's already been able to make a scene and talk and connect. I wish I had an opportunity to sit with the guys. And that's a red flag right there to me. Janique, that gives me that you're insecure. Because let me tell you something. If you walk into a room and a woman is already sitting there, you walk into the room, you can walk in being late and command the room. You know what I'm saying? Like for all my women out there who know what I'm talking about. Like, you're late. So now everybody is looking at you walk in. That's your moment. That's snatch the attention off and bring it back onto you, right? And not even on purpose, not even like on some jealous, on some old catty mess. It's just my energy is drawing you in. You have no choice but to see me walk in. And I feel like Janique, from that point when she sat down, you could literally feel her trying to get the attention of all the men again. Does that make sense? Did y'all catch that? Like the way she was talking, while it came off as passionate, it seemed like she was working hard to try to gain the attention of the men. I was just like, girl, you really don't gotta do all that. You don't have to do all that. Like, if you do it right, you don't got to work hard. Anyway, so she get me insecure, and I could see her being real competitive with these other women, and it's not gonna be a good look. So then Andre, the one that's the entrepreneur that we don't know nothing where he's preneuing or doing anything. We don't know nothing that he do. He just say entrepreneur. Now we don't know what he own. We don't know what he running. We don't know nothing about that. He's the one that asks if Cynthia is able to submit. What I don't understand, what is this obsession with submission? Please tell me what the obsession is with submission. I looked up the definition of submission, and submission means, just so that we're all on the same page, the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. No. You are not superior to, but you're not an authority, like you're not an authority of me. We're two adults who have two brains, two minds, two separate, totally different things, individuals who come together and we discuss things as a team, as a partnership. But submission, I don't understand what this obsession is. If you want somebody to submit, just get a dog. I don't understand what this submission. I don't understand what this obsession is. I have no idea. It completely blows me. In 2023, we still talking about submission for what? Individuals with our own mind, our own brain, our own money. And I gotta. What are you saying? What do you want? I mean, look, I'm going down the rabbit hole. What I don't understand is Andre bringing that up when he don't got no money. He don't have nothing. And I can tell he a broke boy. And he the main one asking for submission. And can she submit? Because he's an alpha male. Throw all that away. If you want submission, get a dog. Tony and Marcia. Tony takes Marcia out on a date. And Marcia is a very pretty girl. Very, very pretty woman. Marcia was talking about how she was a troubled kid back in elementary school. She used to get in trouble all the time. And so she has a lot of compassion for people and wanting to be able to pour into people because she needed someone to pour into her because she was constantly getting into trouble as a young person, as a young kid. He is talking about God and how he's a man of God. He stops to ask if he can pray over the food. It took me back. Do y'all remember the first, what episode was that? What season was that with David? Y'all remember David and him talking about how he loved the Lord and he Jesus out? I don't trust it. I don't trust it. What I feel is like Tony is one of them type of dudes who will hit you over the head, tell you what you think you want to hear, what he thinks you want to hear, and then as soon as you get comfortable, snatch you up, right? And Marcia even said it. She was like, I'm getting player vibes from him, but I'm in. I'm like, girl, what? Girl, what? Did you just hear yourself? Girl, Marcia, what? What? So we'll see. Marcia, now don't say you need to listen to yourself. You need to listen to your first mind. Like my grandma used to say, you listen to your first mind. Your first mind said he a player. Go with that. You don't, that's on you, boo. Don't tell us nothing else. We don't want to hear nothing about it, okay? Z and Blake, they go on a date. When I tell this date was so freaking awkward. Z is so awkward to me. First, what the hell does she have on, y'all? I'm sorry. I hate talking about people for clothes and stuff. But girl, what the hell you had on? Girl, she had on a corset. And I'm telling you, in her confessional, she had a corset. When she was walking down the street, she had a corset. I swear she had a corset the other day before. I'm like, girl, where are all these corsets coming from? Number one. Number two, why are you walking down the street looking real tight? Like, she just looked awkward. She got to the table. Conversation was awkward. Just so awkward. And I was like, oh, Z is going. This is at this moment, I was like, oh, Z going home. Z was basically saying how Blake was trying, basically Zeke was interrogating her and making her feel uncomfortable, and she didn't really want to open up with him. And then Blake, on the other hand, was like, man, I'm trying to really push her, and he was like, it's starting to feel like interrogation. So I do appreciate the fact that they both understood what was happening, and Blake wasn't just blindly interrogating her without him actually understanding that's what he was doing. I'm not sure what the problem was between them two. I know that there is no chemistry, but I don't know what it was that made her shut down and not really want to talk. Blake asked her, are you nervous? And she was like, yeah, of course I'm nervous. Would anybody be nervous? And then she started trying to talk about she loves to laugh and everything, and it makes her feel sexual and stuff. And I was just like, girl, is that your way of trying to get a man's attention? Girl, like, what? And that's kind of the reason why I felt like it was more on her side and not necessarily Blake, because I feel like he was trying. He kept asking, like, what about you? What do you like to do? The things like, if you were really in your right mind, you could have taken that conversation and ran with it. That's how I felt. Like, I'm like, if he asking me, rarely do I ever, if I'm going on dates, I got a boyfriend, I'm in a serious relationship now, but when I was dating, I rarely had the opportunity of a man asking me how I felt about something and letting me actually talk or respond and listening for my answer. And so I feel like she just really didn't take advantage of being able to talk. Granted, Blake is who he is, but it's still nice to have just a conversation, just to set up friendships or something. She was just so awkward, and the way that connects, it was just not there. Null and void. Completely null and void. So I'm gonna flip all the way forward. I'm gonna say this one thing and I'm gonna leave it alone. But DeMario, he give me colorist vibe. He give me, I only want to date the lighter skinned women with the looser textured hair. I may be wrong, but he give me that. He gives me very superficial colorist. Okay, wrong? Catch me in the comments and let me know what you think. But he gives me colorist. Out having another date where the women outnumber the men. So it was Z, Corvea, Mercedes, Marcia, Suanne, all the girls, pretty much all of them, and Mark Anthony and Fabrice. And this is when Fabrice was talking about sex, and Jeffrey was like, shut up. Like, stop talking about sex all the time. You couldn't even get my number. But Suanne was like, okay, as I've gotten older, I've realized that I've liked sex more because now I understand who I am in my body. And so she wants to know more about Fabrice. And I was like, dear God, it's got to be somebody for everybody, because I did not expect that. But hey, listen, it's somebody for everybody. That's encouraging. Mark Anthony was kind of connecting a little bit with Mercedes, because Mark Anthony he's a medical lab tech right now, but I guess he's studying to be a pilot. And so Mercedes is a flight attendant. So they were kind of like talking a little bit on the side, like, yeah, that would be cute if a pilot and a flight attendant got together. I'm like, girl, he's not a pilot yet, girl. Wait till he become a pilot, girl. Okay, I'm sorry. I understand. I feel like Corvea should keep her views to herself. I be feeling like I understand Corvea. Like, I respect that. Like, I don't think that she should hit nobody over the head with it, but I don't want to date no man who got a roommate. I'm sorry. Now I wouldn't broadcast it. Well, now I didn't just say it in front of YouTube, but I mean I wouldn't broadcast it as I'm dating, and I probably wouldn't have a conversation like she does. But she got a point, okay? She got a point. I think the last conversation was between Mark Anthony and Corvea. And Corvea was basically saying, can you spoil me? Will you spoil me? And again, it's like, Corvea, please do not have these conversations with these men. Like, the way that you are having these conversations very, very much sounds very red flaggish. But what I will say is the fact that nobody backed down when Andre was asking about submission, right? Nobody said anything to Andre about how asking a woman will she submit can be a red flag. But when Corvea is expressing how she feels and how her man needs to support her financially or match her financially, that's a red flag. So it's like, to me, they're both on the same level. Asking a woman is she submissive is the same, to me, the same coin, the other side of the same coin, as asking a man will he spoil her. To me, it's the same thing. You get met with outrage when Corvea is asking, will you spoil me? But don't nobody say boo when a dude is saying submission, submissive. And women are actually supposed to respond and be like, yes. And if they're not, if they say no, I'm not about to be submissive, then all the men are gonna be looking at her sideways. So it's just so weird how that both can live in the same space, but it's looked at differently. Men gather. They meet at this really pretty church. It was cute. It was a church, but on the inside it was alcohol and everything. I'm like, ooh, this. So all the men are like, yes to Mercedes, yes to Morgan, yes to Jeffrey, yes to who else? I think that's it. Nose was Corvea, Z, who else was a no? I can't remember who else was a no. Couple other people was a no, but mainly Corvea and Z, and so those are the two women. Now, Tommy had introduced a new curveball, so now you can save one person from being eliminated. Everybody has to vote unanimously to save that person, and you can only use it once. So it's kind of like a lifeline kind of thing. So if somebody is about to get eliminated, if someone decides, hey, let's not eliminate this person, they have to vote unanimously on it, and they can only use that lifeline once to save someone. So I thought that was a pretty interesting lifeline and a interesting twist on the show. We need to keep coming up with more of these, and also delay the process of eliminating people, because if everyone is dating, like, I think it would be more interesting to see them all try to like date multiple people all at once and see how that comes of something, versus trying to hurry up and eliminate people, because then we get fake relationships. Let me just hurry up. It's like it becomes musical chairs at that point. Let me just grab the first seat I got. And it's just not authentic. If you really want real love, eliminating these contestants that's not going to work. I don't think so. So Blake and some other child, I don't know who else is on the Lyndon, the one that's got a roommate. So Lyndon is able to talk to Corvea. Blake is able to sit and talk with Z. I know Lyndon was so happy to have this conversation with Corvea, because Corvea basically ate him up, chewed him up, and spit him out, and basically called him a broke boy to his face. And so he was like, you've been rubbing people off the wrong way. You're giving off these kinds of vibes. And so he pretty much held on to make it dragged it out to kind of keep her in suspense. He basically told her that, not even basically, he told her that they thought she was still ready to love, but Z ended up going home, and she was okay with it. In her exit interview, I guess you want to call it out, she started singing. I didn't even stick around to listen, because I was like, girl, Z, don't embarrass yourself anymore. I felt secondhand embarrassment because of her. Like, I know you have a really great personality, but it was coming off cringeworthy throughout this entire episode. It looks like it's gonna be juicy. Let me tell you, I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. It seems like there are more things coming. I really enjoyed it. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the episode. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are y'all still on the submission kick? What do you think about that? Is submission, asking a woman will she be submissive, the same as asking a man if he'll spoil her? Is that the same? What do you think? What do you think about all the contestants? Get down in the comments. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to my channel while you're down there, okay? I will talk to you later.